This is Jesse Morrill, Academic Dean at Liberty Common High School, and in this presentation I'll be going over the pre-registration process for current 9th graders planning courses for their 10th grade year here at Liberty. Among your registration materials, you should have a curriculum guide that you received at your registration presentation. If you don't have one of those, then come down to the front office and we can get you one. The curriculum guide is also available online to view under the college info page or the course descriptions page. You'll also receive a transcript with your grade history on there, and for 9th graders that will include just first semester from this year. Make sure you have your name on your curriculum guide. It is an important document and we don't want you to lose that. If you lose it, we do not have enough to replace lost guides. So what we'll be doing today is going through course selections for your sophomore year, and your curriculum guide is the best tool that we have to give you the information that you need as you're going through this process. So when you're looking at your curriculum guide, there's a couple things that we want you to keep in mind. Right now I'm looking at the curriculum guide online, and this is a sample of a course description that you would find in the guide. So for example, with Spanish 4, you'll see that Spanish 4 is a 10-credit class, which means it's a year-long course. If it's a semester-long course, then it would say 5 credits. Under requirements met, it says that it meets the foreign language requirement. So when you look at page 8 in the curriculum guide, you'll see all the graduation requirements listed there, and you can refer to that page for requirements that are being met. The prerequisite for Spanish 4 would be Spanish 3. That means you have to take and pass Spanish 3 before you could take Spanish 4. And then you can see that this class is offered to get grades 10 through 12. Now, to talk generally about requirements, you do need 240 credits to graduate from Liberty. And when we get to your transcript, we'll go through that in a little more detail. As a freshman, you need to be concerned about the number of credits that you need at the end of this year in order to be a sophomore next year. So you do have to hit at least 60 credits in order to be a sophomore next year with regards to our graduation requirements. So as you move on, you do need 120 to be a junior and 180 to be a senior, and that just tells us that you're on track to get to that 240 total that you need in order to graduate. You must be enrolled in at least 35 credits per semester or 7 classes. That would include 1 study hall then as your 8th class. Students can take up to 8 classes per semester, but 7 is the minimum. Looking at the flow chart here, this is on page 9 of your curriculum guide, and you'll see in 10th grade things start to get a little bit more flexible as you have 1 more elective opportunity than you had in 9th grade. 11th grade stays pretty heavy, and then 12th grade you'll see where the flexibility is going to come in to your senior year to take many of the electives that you're interested in. The graduation requirements again are listed on page 8, and we're going to go through this when we look at your transcript here in just a moment. So let's take a look at the transcript. This is a sample transcript of a fake student that we created here, just to give you an idea of what information you can find here. The transcript, of course, is a very important document, as this is the official document that you will share with college admissions people, as well as scholarship people, and anybody else who needs to know how you performed while you were in high school. So listed here on the left, you'll see all of the grades that you've received while you're in high school. The credit that you've earned for each of those grades. So you can see an A for Studio Art here with 5 credits, means that that's the number of credits that were earned. And that's listed all the way down through. So again, if you didn't get the grades that you would like to have gotten during first semester of your 9th grade year, really work hard second semester to try and improve that, because you know that these grades are permanent. They show up on this transcript forever, and you want to really be able to put your best foot forward and show what you're capable of on this piece of paper. Over here on the top right, you'll see the LCHS GPA summary. You'll have a weighted GPA and a simple GPA. If you have not taken any AP courses yet, then those two numbers are going to be identical. But if you've taken an AP course, then you'll see that you'll have your weighted GPA will be a little higher than your simple GPA. You get an extra 0.01 for each 5 credits of an AP course that you take. That gets added onto your GPA, and that gives you a little boost there for taking on the extra rigor. If you want to learn more about the way the GPA is calculated, you can read about that also near the front of the curriculum guide. Down here at the bottom right, you'll see the graduation progress table. This table shows what is required of you for each of these subject areas and what you've earned in each of these subject areas. Okay, so let's talk first about English. English, you need 30 credits. That's going to include the Western Literature class that you're in now, British Literature in 10th grade, and U.S. Literature in 11th grade. Composition is a 5-credit requirement that you'll take in 11th grade. And then you have English elective, a requirement there for 10 credits that goes beyond those required English classes. So there's a number of options there that we'll talk about here in a moment. And oftentimes this would be your senior year where you're looking at taking these English electives, although some students will start to check off some of these requirements a little earlier. History is a 40-credit requirement. That includes economics and Western civilization in 9th grade. In 10th grade, you'll take world history. In 11th grade, you'll take U.S. history for those 40 credits. Government is the remaining requirement there for 5 credits that generally would go into your senior year, although some students do elect to take that a little earlier, and that's a 1-semester requirement. For math, you are required to be in math for all 4 years, so that's a 40-credit requirement there. For science, you're required to be in science for all 4 years as well. 30 of those credits are required, and that they are biology, chemistry, and physics. And then the remaining 10 credits are going to be chosen by students either in their senior year, or they will be met by the conceptual chemistry and physics class, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. Foreign language is a 30-credit requirement. You do need 3 years or 30 credits of foreign language while you're in high school here, unless you get through level 4 of a language. If you get through level 4 of a foreign language, then that also would meet the requirement. Personal finance is a 5-credit requirement that's taken junior or senior year. Intro to engineering is a 5-credit requirement that all 10th graders must take. And then health and PE counts for 5 credits. So, having gone through all the requirements, you should have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be taking over the next 3 years that is required of you in order to graduate. And now we're going to go ahead and log into PowerSchool to select your classes for next year. So, to get to the registration form in PowerSchool, you're going to go to the Liberty Common High School website. You'll click on PowerSchool Login, and then you'll log in with your assigned numbers. Those numbers are listed on the bottom of the transcript that's been given to you. If you're not sure, if you've lost that transcript, you can come to the front office, send me an email, or send Mrs. Reeb an email, and we can get you those numbers. Okay, so once you're logged in, you'll find a screen that looks like this, and this is where you'll actually be able to select the courses that you plan to take for your sophomore year. When you're looking at a category, you'll click on the pencil. So for English, we click on the pencil, and all sophomores take British Literature. So that is a class that you have to sign up for. Western Literature is listed here in case you need to retake that class if you did not pass both semesters of the class in your freshman year. But everybody takes British Literature. For history, everybody takes World History in 10th grade. For math, with your math class, you're going to talk to your math teacher about which class makes sense for you to take for the following year. You can look in the curriculum guide under the math courses, and you can find a flow chart there which explains the courses that come, the sequence for math at Liberty Common High School. Talk to your math teacher about which math class makes the most sense for you. Under science, now this requirement is going to be determined by the math class that you're in your 10th grade year. If you are in Algebra 2 or higher, then you should select chemistry, and that would be your class for your 10th grade year. In 11th grade, then you would take physics, and in 12th grade, you would have the choice of a science elective. If you are going to be in geometry or something below Algebra 2 next year in 10th grade, then you should take conceptual chemistry and physics. That class will meet the science elective requirement, and then you would take chemistry in 11th grade and physics in 12th grade. Okay, moving along, if we go to foreign language, students are required to take 3 years of foreign language while you're in high school, so you're definitely going to take a foreign language in 10th grade, and you would select the next language in the sequence for you. Engineering. All 10th graders are required to take Introduction to Engineering, so you should definitely select that class. Now we're looking at elective options. You've chosen 55 credits so far with the classes that you've picked. And so you have 15 to 25 more credits, depending on if you're going to do study hall, to choose elective courses. Music and theater. The options are fairly similar to what we've had in the past. The one difference would be Introduction to Music Theory is a new course. AP Music Theory will not be offered next year, but it will be offered the following year. If you plan to take AP Music Theory, you will need to take Introduction to Music Theory first. Under PE and Health, we have a couple options that are new here. Social Dance is the newest option for a class, if you're interested in taking that. Outdoor Fitness has become just a 1-period class. It used to be a 2-period class, which made it difficult to schedule for some people. It's now a 1-period class during 8th hour, but it will flow into 9th period as well on some days. So just know that you are committing to being here through 3:15 if you sign up for fitness and outdoor education. For art, you'll want to refer to page 46 in the curriculum guide to get to look at the art, the rotation that we're looking at over the next 3 years. There are several electives that are going to be offered, and they'll be offered only in certain years. So look at that to help with your planning. For next year, there is a good list of art classes that are going to be available, and Miss Ellis is a great resource if you have any questions about any of those courses. For the English electives, now you'll see there are a number of English classes that are offered beyond the required English course that you have in 10th grade. These courses there's a pretty diverse group of offerings here. The newest course is Logic and Rhetoric. You can read about all these in the curriculum guide. Taking one of these courses would count towards your English elective requirement. History electives. Similar to English, we have some history electives that you can take on top of your required history course. You have the Civil War, we have a macroeconomics class as well as Vietnam War, and then you have government and AP government. Now AP government is not a class that I would recommend for sophomores unless you have already taken government as a 9th grader, or you plan to take government in 10th grade and AP government during the 2nd semester. It is a very rigorous course, generally would be a senior year course. But if you've already taken government, that would be an option for you. Science elective. The science electives that are available would be anatomy and astronomy. So those would both be options for students who are interested in taking more science classes beyond what is required of them in 10th grade. Engineering electives, again, some more engineering classes. Electrical and computer engineering is a great class. It is highly recommended that you take Intro to Programming before you take electrical engineering. So if you take an Intro to Programming, that might be one that would be interesting for you. Robotics engineering is also an option for sophomores, and that's a year-long 10-credit course. Now, under computer, we have the 4 options. AP Computer Science is an option. Art of Web Design, as well as Computer Technology and Intro to Programming. Under other electives, this is where study hall is listed. If you plan to take a study hall during each semester of your sophomore year, then you would choose both of these study halls. SH 100 is first semester, the 200 is second semester, and you would pick them both. The other classes that are offered are Ancient Greek, Classical Mythology, and Vocabulary Mastery. Now, once you have selected your courses, you should be showing that you're requesting 80 credit hours. If you have more than 80 credits, then you need to take something off. If you have less than 80 credits, then you need to add something. But before you're done, you also have to go into your alternate courses. So when you click on this pencil, you'll see that all the courses that are available to sophomores are listed here under the alternate courses. You need to choose at least 2 alternates and up to 6 alternates so that we have some other options to go to in case we have an issue with the courses that you selected. Some things that can happen with this Not all courses that are offered will happen next year. If we don't have enough students sign up for a particular course, that course will not go. Also, there are potential schedule conflicts that happen every year where you picked a course that just simply can't be put into your schedule based on when it's offered during the day. So having some backup options helps us to build you a schedule that you're going to be happy with. Once you're done, you click Submit, and then we go on to the next step. So the next step in the process is to make sure that you have a good conversation at home with your parents about the courses that you plan to take. Go through the curriculum guide together, look at the PowerSchool menu together, and make some decisions. Once you're comfortable with what you're signing up for, make an appointment with me by signing up on the calendar next to my door in the front office. Bring your transcript with you and your curriculum guide to this meeting so that we can have a good discussion about the courses that you've selected. You must meet with me by March 1st in order to finalize your courses. If you don't meet with me by March 1st, then I will choose courses for you based on what you need for graduation, and I'm not always the best at picking the classes that you want to take. If you have questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email. You can also see me in person here at the school. Happy to answer any questions that you have, and excited to help you to choose your courses for your 10th grade year.